In Adam Kadmon, you can see two aspects. The external aspect of Adam Kadmon is the way Adam Kadmon is the source of all world. That's like Adam Kadmon is like Arich. And comparing to that, Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם. But if you take Pnimius Adam Kadmon, or Atik Adam Kadmon, which means the Elokus in Adam Kadmon, the Or Ein Sof in Adam Kadmon, then Atzilus is Yesh Me'ayin. It's not anymore Gilui ההעלם. From comparing to that, it's Yesh Me'ayin, and even Ak itself, Chitzonius Ak, is also called Yesh Me'ayin. It's still called Bria Klalis. Adam Kadmon is called the general world of Bria. Today is Yud Beis Adar. And we are zoche to learn Hemshech Samech Vov, Baruch Hashem. We are holding on page Reish Tes Vav, and in the old edition, it's Kuf Samech Beis. And Reish Tes Vav is on top at the end, I think, of the first line. We're learning about the world of Atzilus. You know, in this Maimar on Purim, we're learning, that the Chazal say that what are the mitzvahs for? They ask. And some say it's lesorach gavoa, it's for Hashem's purpose and use. And some say, why are you kidding? And these are those who say that what a Yid does or doesn't do, if we do a mitzvah or not, it makes a difference. And where it makes a difference mainly in the world of Atzilus that we are learning about. We can either increase light in the spheres of Atzilus by doing mitzvahs, or we can, God forbid, blemish the spheres of Atzilus and the Torah expresses it as weakening the strength of God. This is when Hashem places himself, brings himself down in the image of man. And then if, God forbid, we do the Heipach HaMitzvah, it can take away from the power of the spheres. This mitzvah and that sphere, that mitzvah and that sphere. So that is on one hand. On the other hand, when Hashem is beyond bringing himself down to the level of Adam, then im chatata, if you sin, what difference does it make to him? And if tzadku, if you are righteous, what can matiten lo? What can you give to him? He's way beyond any relation to what is good and bad and right and wrong. So we are learning about the world, this world of Atzilus, in which we make a difference. And regarding this world of Atzilus, the Rebbe Rashab is teaching us that it's called Edme le'elyon, Adam ha'elyon, because Edme le'elyon, because it is similar to that which is above it, which means that the world of Atzilus is really Gilui ההעלם, is revealing that which is hidden above it. So that which is only on the level of potentiality in Adam Kadmon, which is way higher than Atzilus, is revealed in Atzilus. So it's Gilui ההעלם. Atzilus is megale, the hiddenness of Adam Kadmon. And that's why it's called Adam ha'elyon. Why? Because Adam means Edme. I'm similar to. So Edme le'elyon, I'm similar to that which is above. Then we will learn that, what do you mean? Atzilus is not, in comparing to really the Ein Sof, Atzilus is not Gilui ההעלם, Atzilus is Yesh Me'ayin. So we are going to go back and forth between Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם, or meaning Atzilus is no chidush, there's nothing new, it's just revealing that which was hidden, or Atzilus is something completely new. Yesh Me'ayin. Now, specifically, the last thing we discussed is the fact that there is a tzimtzum between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus. There is a parsa, there is like a hoof, like a partition between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus. We know that the nature of a parsa, the nature of a tzimtzum, is that after the tzimtzum there is something new. It creates a gap, which means that tzimtzum creates yesh me'ayin. So how can you say that Atzilus is not yesh me'ayin, Atzilus is gilui ההעלם, if you say that there is a parsa, if the Eitz Chaim says that there is a parsa between Adam Kadmon, and Atzilus? Then we learned that really this tzimtzum between Ak and Atzilus is not for the sake of Atzilus. Atzilus with its kelim can contain the light of Adam Kadmon the way it is, and therefore a tzimtzum is not needed. So why is there a tzimtzum? So we are told that it's for the sake of biyah. For the sake of biyah, there is a tzimtzum between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus, so Atzilus can transfer the light of Adam Kadmon to biyah, to Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, the lowest worlds that are created below Atzilus. And that, of course, arose questions that if this is the case, why, of course, the question that most of you ask is, if this is the case, why not the tzimtzum between Atzilus and Biyah, which there is a parsa between Atzilus and Biyah anyhow. So why you need it between Ak and Atzilus? And if it's a tzimtzum between Ak and Atzilus, how can you say that Atzilus is just gilui ההעלם of Ak, of Adam Kadmon? So we explained it's like a teacher that has to teach biyah, that has to teach a student, a talmid, who is shelo ba'erech, who is not comparable to understanding of the concepts that the way the teacher understands them. And therefore the teacher has to give a mashal, which is like the parsa, like the tzimtzum. And the mashal has to talk the language of the student. And through this analogy or metaphor that is megashem the idea, that makes the idea much more tangible and coarse, the student can understand the idea. So we learn that this parsa is really like the marshal, is giving Atzilus the tools to be able to bring down the light of Adam Kadmon to a biyah, like the teacher brings the idea down to the student through a mashal, through a metaphor, through an analogy. So what is then Atzilus? So we learn, and why the parsa in between, the bottom line we learn that what is really Atzilus? Atzilus is the Rav when he is contemplating on the mashal. That's why the parsa comes before Atzilus. Atzilus doesn't lose the light of the Rav. It's the same Rav. It's gilui ההעלם, same light of Adam Kadmon. Elamai. The Rav is not now contemplating, Atzilus is the Rav, not contemplating on the way he understands the idea. He is contemplating now on the mashal that he is creating in order to present the idea to the student. That's Atzilus. And it's a potential for gvul. Like the mashal, it's a potential for the limited understanding of the Talmud to have shaychus to the idea. And therefore, the last words that we learned is, ואם כן, if this is the case, הרי האור והגילוי מאק לאצילוס, the light and the revelation from Adam Kadmon to Atzilus, הוא שאינו משתנה האור. nothing changes when it goes from Adam Kadmon to Atzilus. Even though there is a tzimtzum, there is a parsa between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus, the way Kabbalah tells us, the Etz Chaim. But the parsa doesn't block the light from the teacher. It only blocks the light from the student. And that is necessary. But the teacher is the same teacher. His understanding is the same understanding. And now in Atzilus, he is contemplating on the marshal. So the or itself doesn't change. In Atzilus, there's no disconnect from the light of the Rav, from the light of Adam Kadmon. Eino mishtane haor. Lachen Atzilus, therefore we conclude that Atzilus is in the principle of Edme Le'elyon. I am similar, says Atzilus, to that which is above me, beyond me, which is Adam Kadmon, Legabe Adam Kadmon. I'm similar, I'm just Megale, I'm the same light. I'm Megale, that which is hidden in Adam Kadmon. Now, after explaining that the Gilui that comes from Adam Kadmon remains in its nature and does not change in Atzilus, now we understand that Atzilus is not a chidush, is not an innovation yesh me'ayin, rather Gilui ההעלם from Adam Kadmon, and therefore we can call it Adam. We call Atzilus Adam ha'elyon, the divine man. Why Adam? Edme le'elyon. Like we call us Adam, Yid is called Adam, because he's similar to the above. He's similar to God. He's similar. He has, the Atzilus has 10 spheres, and we have 10 spheres. So we are Edme le'elyon. And so too, Atzilus is called Adam, because Atzilus is similar to Adam Kadmon. Now, until now, we explain Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם from Adam Kadmon. Now, we will explain, or the Rebbe Rashab will, Reb Shalom Dover ben Reb Shmuel, Tzadikei Elyon Kedoshim, זכותם תגן עלינו. We will explain the other side of the world of Atzilus, which is in relation to Or Ein Sof. In relation to Or Ein Sof, Atzilus is a chidush yesh me'ayin. So it depends, Spencer, from where you look and to what you compare Atzilus. When you compare Atzilus to Adam Kadmon, we call it Gilui ההעלם. No innovation, no chidush, just Gilui ההעלם, revealing that which was hidden. When you compare Atzilus to Or Ein Sof, and we will become more particular which aspect of Or Ein Sof, then you call it yesh me'ayin. Now let's look inside the last few words of the first line on top of Resh Tes Vav. Ach zeu legabe ak. When we say that Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם, revealing that which is hidden, this is only talking in reference to Ak. So Atzilus is Megale, reveals what is hidden and potential in Adam Kadmon. What is Adam Kadmon? Shu b'chinas Adam de Bria. Adam Kadmon is the first world. It's called Adam de Bria, which means it's the first of the general created world after the Kav, after the Tzimtzum. Sheyesh lo shaychus el Atzilus. So Adam Kadmon does have shaychus, connection to Atzilus. Take, not in a revealed way, in a hidden way, but it has a connection. Shenikra, why? Because Adam Kadmon, in comparison to Atzilus, and to all worlds really, Adam Kadmon shenikra or klali. Adam Kadmon is a general light that includes all worlds, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, even not the created ones. Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya, all worlds. Or klali. מה זאת אומרת? What does it mean klali? It's a general that includes all the pratim in a general way, which means in a potential way. And therefore, you can also call Adam Kadmon ve'arich shel ha'olamos chulu kanal. That Adam Kadmon is like the arich aspect of Keser, which means it's the general light that in a manner of a point includes potentially all the details that will evolve from it, from all the worlds, from the most spiritual down to the most physical. So all this that we say that Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם, says the Rebbe Rashab, that is only in regarding to Adam Kadmon. That is called Adam the Bria. And it's an or klali that includes the entire Seder Ishtalshelus. And therefore the ההעלם of Adam Kadmon is revealed in Olam Atzilus. And therefore Adam Kadmon is called Arich shel Olamos Abiyah. Arich, because Arich, we know that in Keser we have Atik and Arich. Atik is the last aspect of the emanator of God, of godliness. And Arich is the first source of worlds. That's Chisonius HaKeser, Arich. So Adam Kadmon is like the Arich of the world. Includes all the worlds. Rosh Lanetzalim. That's Arich. So Adam Kadmon is the first shorish, root of the Metzius HaOlamos, and has shaychus to Olamos HaNivraim. However, says the Rebbe, אבל לגבי בחינת אור אין סוף שלמעלה מאדם קדמון. However, if you compare Atzilus to Or Ein Sof on the level which is higher than Adam Kadmon, והיינו בחינת פנימיוס אק, if you compare it to Pnimius Adam Kadmon, when you say that Adam Kadmon is like the Arich of the worlds, it's like the Keser of the worlds, this is the Chisonius of Adam Kadmon. But when you are talking about the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, which is called Atik the Ak, Atik of Adam Kadmon, בחינת עתיק שבו חולו, שאינו בגדר גם בבחינת אור כללי, that פנימיוס אק, you cannot even call it אור כללי to the whole סדר השתלשלות. You cannot call it a general light even to the entire world, to the entire order of worlds. That is פנימיוס Adam Kadmon, that's the עתיק, that's already the אלוקוס, the אור אין סוף, in Adam Kadmon, and comparing to the, which is called, and if you go back to before the parentheses, Adam Kadmon is called even, comparing to Adam Kadmon, comparing to Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, says the Rebbe, Or Ein Sof, which is higher than Adam Kadmon, or the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, comparing to that, Chochma, which is the highest aspect of Atzilus, is called Yesh Me'ayin. It's not Gilui ההעלם. Vegan Adam Kadmon, not only Atzilus, is called, comparing to that Yesh Me'ayin, even Adam Kadmon, meaning the Chitzonius aspect of Adam Kadmon, is called Bria, Nikra Bria, לגבי מדרגה זו חולו כנ"ל. Comparing to this level, which means that in Adam Kadmon you can see two aspects. The external aspect of Adam Kadmon is the way Adam Kadmon is the shorosh of all worlds. That's like Adam Kadmon is like Arich. And comparing to that, Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם. But if you take Pnimius Adam Kadmon, or Atik Adam Kadmon, which means the Elokus in Adam Kadmon, the Or Ein Sof in Adam Kadmon, then Atzilus is Yesh Me'ayin. It's not anymore Gilui ההעלם. From comparing to that, it's Yesh Me'ayin, and even Ak itself, Chitzonius Ak, is also called Yesh Me'ayin. It's still called Bria Klalis. Adam Kadmon is called the general world of Bria. Keser is the general world of Yetzira, And Atzilus is the general world of Asiya, the Asiya Klalis, the Yetzirah Klalis, and the Bria Klalis. And then we have the Bria Pratis, the Yetzirah Pratis, and the Asiya Pratis. As we mentioned many times, I hope by now it's known, and if not, please ask. So this Pnimius Ak, this Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, is shayach to the Ma'atzil, to the emanator, and not the emanations. And therefore it is far, incomparably, bein aroch, from worlds and Ivraim. Rabbi Gopin explained that this is a level of Elokus, the Atik of Adam Kadmon, the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, is a level of Elokus that you cannot refer to in concepts with concepts of giving chayus, of animating something outside of Elokus. It's not an animating force. You can't call that level of Or Ein Sof, which is the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, Or Ein Sof, which is the emanator itself, Or Ein Sof itself. You cannot call it a source of life, even though it becomes a source of life. Where? In Chitzonius Adam Kadmon. Then you can call it as root that eventually will be revealed in Atzilus as a source of life. Spheros. Even though many times we feel Adam Kadmon is already like Or Ein Sof, many times we call it like still Or Ein Sof, because in Adam Kadmon, if you slice Adam Kadmon open, you will not see any sphera, even though esosferos come from it, because it's all on the level of potential. Yet, there are two aspects to Adam Kadmon as well. When it is potentially a source of worlds, that's the external aspect of Adam Kadmon. When it is the internal aspect of Adam Kadmon, Or Ein Sof itself, is beyond being a source. It's beyond being a source of life or a source of anything. So and so. And the nefesh is the same thing. Our soul resembles that. That Adam Kadmon is already the zone of Etzem HaNefesh, the essence of the soul. But you have two aspects to the essence of your soul. One aspect is from where the 10 kochos HaNefesh will come out, from where our consciousness and our mind and our emotions and all our powers will be revealed. So first they are there in potential level, and then in our brain they get revealed. But then there is the inner aspect of the essence of the soul. It's beyond being a source of life, of kochos, of powers, beyond powers altogether, beyond even powers potentially. You cannot even tell what it is. It's a piece of God. And so too the difference between the chitzonius and the pnimius. The chitzonius of the nefesh, of the soul, of the essence of the soul, is a potential for powers that will be later on revealed in the body. The pnimius of the soul, that was the chitzonius of the essence of the soul. The pnimius of the essence of the soul is beyond being a source of powers altogether. And we don't even have a description for it. Beyond description, beyond any definition. And so too, these two aspects of Adam Kadmon. The chitzonius of Adam Kadmon is a source of spheros, after all, potentially, a source of seder ishtalshelus, and therefore, comparing to that, you can call Atzilus gilui ההעלם. But when it comes to pnimius Adam Kadmon, the way it is Or Ein Sof itself beyond being a source of spheros altogether, or source of seder ishtalshelus, at least altogether, there you cannot call it arich, a source of worlds. You cannot give any definition, and therefore there, comparing to Pnimius Ak, you cannot call Atzilus Gilui ההעלם, rather it is Yesh Me'ayin. It is something new, and even the Chitzonius of Adam Kadmon itself, as Bria Klalis is also, you can call it Yesh Me'ayin in comparison to that. To summarize so far, Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם of Ak. The tzimtzumim between them are in a manner of miut, we learned, a decrease rather than a complete block, which means the tzimtzumim between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus do not change the light, just decrease the light. And even the parsa between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus that we learn from the Eitz Chaim, from Kabbalah, that there is one between Adam Kadmon and Atzilus, does not metzamtzem the light for Atzilus, rather for Biyah, for Bria, Yetzira, Asiya, that they would be able eventually to contain this light, like the marshal that the teacher is constructing. However, but that all is regarding Gilui ההעלם. But לגבי אור אינסוף itself, the Pnimius of Ak, the world of Atzilus is considered a chidush, something new, yesh me'ayin, because those aspects of Or Ein Sof, which are the Pnimius of Adam Kadmon, are way beyond being a source of chayos, of life, to any world. Now we're going to continue with Omnam Yesh Lomar. So in the last section, the Rebbe brought a solution for the, so to speak, contradiction between the opinions that the world of Atzilus is Yesh Me'ayin or Gilui ההעלם. And finally, the explanation so far is, finally and so far is also a contradiction, but let's leave it at that, that legabe Ak, in reference to Adam Kadmon, Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם. However, legabe, in reference to Or Ein Sof, it's a chidush yesh me'ayin. Now, the Rebbe will bring a deeper explanation to this contradiction that determines that the world of Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם, not only of Adam Kadmon, but now the Rebbe will explain that the world of Atzilus is considered Gilui ההעלם even in reference to the Or HaKav that fills all worlds, הממלא כל העלמין. Even comparing to Or HaKav, הממלא כל העלמין, Atzilus will be still considered Gilui ההעלם, revealing that which is hidden in Or HaKav. And it's only in reference to Or HaSebev Kol Almin as in Atzilus will be considered Yesh Me'ayin. So now the Rebbe is extending the understanding when is Atzilus considered Gilui ההעלם and when is Atzilus considered Yesh Me'ayin. Now we extended the understanding of how far Atzilus is, why Atzilus is called Adam HaElyon, the divine, the supreme man, because it is megale, that which is beyond it. And now the Rebbe is extending it not only to Adam Kadmon, but also that Atzilus is megale, that which is in Or HaKav, which is memale kol almin, which is the light of Or Ein Sof that fills all worlds. And only in comparison to that which is beyond Or HaKav, HaSebev Kol Almin, the Or Ein Sof that is not filling the world, is not tailored to the worlds at all and remains beyond and makif, which means remain unperceived and not internalized by the world, comparing to that aspect of Or Ein Sof, Atzilus is called Yesh Me'ayin. It's a chidush. It's something new. So let's look inside. Omnam, however, Yesh Lomar. We have to explain it like this, says the Rebbe. Degam legabei hakav hanimshach mi'or Ein Sof. So we learn that there was Or Ein Sof memale kol hachalal. The infinite light of God was filling the whole space. There was no room for any worlds. And Hashem created the tzimtzum, He removed the whole light. And now a vacant space was virtually, not physically, was left. And now He drew back from this light that He pushed to the sides. He drew one line all the way into that halal. And this is the Or HaKav. It's the way the Or Ein Sof can express itself in a manner of gvul, of finiteness. So now the Rebbe says that more deep or deeper, the gam legabe hakav hanimshach mi'or Ein Sof, that even in comparison, because Adam Kadmon comes from the Kav. We say that Atzilus is Megale Adam Kadmon. Adam Kadmon comes from the Kav. So now the Rebbe says that even the comparison to the Kav that is drawn out of Or Ein Sof, which is higher than Adam Kadmon Chulu, שהוא למעלה מבחינת Adam Kadmon Chulu, גם לגבי בחינה זו, even in comparison to this aspect of the Or HaKav, שייך לומר דאצילוס ובחינת אדמה לעליון. It is still שייך to say that Atzilus is still, in comparison to this, you can still keep it in the category of Edme Le'elyon, resembles that which is above and reveals it. So why? Because Or Ein Sof is coming in a levush of Midah and Gvul. What's the Kav? The Kav is Or Ein Sof. We learned already, according to Avodas HaKodesh, that Or Ein Sof is Shlemusa Dekula, is the perfection and the wholeness of everything. Or Ein Sof includes the ability of God to express Himself in a manner of infinity, and also includes the ability of God to express itself or Himself, in these days herself, I don't know, in a manner of gvul, in a manner of limitation. So the Kav is an expression of that. The Kav is an expression of Or Ein Sof, the way it can megale itself in a manner of gvul. ומה שנקרא, so comparing to this, Atzilus is גילוי ההעלם, megale what is there. ומה שנקרא יש מאין, that Atzilus is called יש מאין, is not in comparison to even to the Kav, if we want to really be specific here. If you want to really zoom in and see what's really going on, says the Rebbe Rashab, then in this case, even in comparison to Or HaKav itself, which is the ability of Or Ein Sof to express itself through the garment of Midah and Gvul, of measurement and amount and limitation, comparison to that, Atzilus is called גילוי ההעלם. ומה שנקרא יש מאין, that which, and when Atzilus is called יש מאין, זהו לגבי עצמוס Or Ein Sof שלמעלה מהקו כולו. When can you say that Atzilus is something new, that is not just revealing that which is potentially hidden, or hidden in a manner of potentiality, of any level, the many levels of Ein Sof and levels of potential, of Koach, and so on. But no matter what, when you say Gilui ההעלם, that includes the Or HaKav. It includes the way Or Ein Sof is revealing itself through a garment of גבול. ומה שנקרא יש מאין, when can you call אצילוס something new? יש מאין. זהו לגבי אסמוס אור אין סוף שלמעלה מהקו כולו. This is אסמוס אור אין סוף itself higher than the curve, which means עולם האצילוס is called יש מאין, something new, only in comparison to אסמוס אור אין סוף, which is higher than the curve, which is called אור אין סוף הסובב כל העלמין. The Or Ein Sof that surrounds all worlds, not surrounding physically, it's in all the worlds, not less than Memale, as we say many, many, many times. It's just surrounding in a manner of the possibility or the ability to perceive it. Superconscious. So, according to what I understand so far, לגבי אור הממלא כל העלמין, regarding the light of Hashem that tailors itself and fills all worlds, F-I-L-L-S, that's Or HaKav. Atzilus is called Gilui ההעלם. And in comparison to Or HaSovev Kol Almin, which means Or Ein Sof, not the way it is constricted and tailored to the worlds so they can perceive it, not tailored to the kelim of each world and so on, which means Or Ein Sof the way it is, uncompromised. Atzilus is called Chidush Yesh Me'ain. Yes. ויש לבאר זה בבייס אופנים. Now, to understand that, says the Rebbe, and to make it more real, you can explain it in two ways. Now, Rabbi Gopin will explains here that the two explanations that the Rebbe is going to present to us regarding how to look at Atzilus, Chidush Yesh Me'ain or Gilui ההעלם, these two explanations are associated with two schools of thoughts in Kabbalah regarding the oros of the spheros. The oros of the spheros, let's take now the spheros the way they are in Atzilus. The Mekubalim were debating what is the condition of the lights in the spheros of Atzilus. We know that the spheros of Atzilus have lights and have vessels. The question is not about the vessels at this moment. The question is about the light that fills every sphere. Are these lights oros pshutim or oros metsuyarim? Meaning that these lights in the light of each sphere and the lights of all spheres, is it really one simple, undifferentiated light that changes really only because of the keli, of the vessel? Like water, if you put it in a colored glass, will look to you, will take on the other side of the glass as red water or green water, but the water didn't change. But is it really that the water is completely plain, the light is completely plain, and only the keli creates the change in the light? Or there are oros metsuyarim lechatchila, or there is an image of the sphere in the light itself already, that potentially each sphere has its own light that is shaykh to it, from Or Ein Sof. Which means, yes, of course, the light of each sphere is way beyond definition. It's Or Ein Sof. But is it completely divested of any potential form or color or sphere, or is there potentially already a tziyur in that light that is invested in each keli? What does it mean really, explains Rabbi Gopin? If the light of the kav mitzad atzmo metzuyar, is the light of the kav itself already formed, which means limited, defined, which means the hagbala, limitation, is chelek mimauto, is the limitation that will come from the kav, part of the kav, or mitzad atzmo, the kav itself is still pashut, is completely plain, is one and unlimited, and only the kelim in which the kav is invested affect in the kav, the light of the kav, medida, gbala, measure and form and color and so on. Rabbi Goffin explains that the explanation that the Rebbe will bring to understand when Atzilus is called Yesh Me'ayin and when Atzilus is called Gilui, ההעלם, the following explanation will be based on the school of thought that the oros are metzuyarim. And this is mainly what Chassidus follows. That the oros are metzuyarim, that it's not only that the kelim create the change in the light, but potentially the light is shaykh to the kelim, is already has shaykhus to that sphere, and there is some kind of a tziyur in the light, not a revealed tziyur, not separate from the infinity of it, but it includes a tziyur, oros metzuyarim. And Rabbi Gopin says that this will take us, that means that the kav itself is already b'bchinas gvul umida. According to this, there is limitation in the kav itself. According to the opinion that the lights of the spheros are oros pshutim, they are plain lights, the kav itself is still completely infinite, and only when it is invested in a keli it changes. According to the explanation that the Rebbe will, which means the second school of thought, that the oros are metzuyarim, that means that in the kav itself there is already agbala. In the kav itself there is already limitation, there is already a definition, a tziyur, a form, potentially. And this will include the following maimarim of this hemshech Samech Vov, which means after החודש is vayolech, zois chukas, and kiimcha, and Adam Yaakov. The next four maimarim after this maimar of החודש הזה לכם. And only at the end of the maimar Adam ki Yaakov, the Rebbe will go to include the other shita of oros pshutim that holds that Ora Kav then he will get. Then there will be a discussion that includes the opinion that the oros and oros pshutim, that the light of the Kav is completely ensof, and at the end we'll come back to orot metzuyarim. Okay, we will. Zat Hashem will get there, but sach hakol. We summarize that there are four explanations to explain how Atzilus is Edme le'elyon. So now let's read a little bit further and then we conclude for today. The Hine, now how does it go? The Rebbe will explain. לפעמים מבואר דהקו הוא המשכה שמבחינת גבול ומידה. Sometimes it's explained that what is the Ora Kav, the line that comes out of the infinite light of Hashem after the Tzimtzum into this halal? What is the nature of this line that is the source of the entire Seder Ishtashlus of all worlds? Sometimes it's explained that the Kav is hamshacha, is an hamshacha from Or Ein Sof, which is b'vchinas gvul umidah, that is in a manner of measure and limitation. And that means that in that case, it explains why Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם. Because we are not talking about something new, because the Kav itself is already limited. And if the Kav has limitation in it, then Atzilus is megala it. So therefore, you call Atzilus Gilui ההעלם, even in comparison to the Kav. That is according to the Shita, to the way of thinking that the Oros of the Spheros are not only the Kalim create a change in the lights, but the Oros themselves are not plain, they are Metsuyarim. They have potentially Shaykhus to the Kalim. And this is another, to summarize this is another explanation and resolution of the contradiction, whether Olam Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם or a Chidush Yesh Me'ayin. According to the Shita, now we explained it, according to the Shita, that the lights of the Sfiros are Oros Mesuyarim, and therefore the world of Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם. Now, in order to understand the two sides of Atzilus, that on one hand, now this is the point that you can get tired and check off, or decide that you stay and Mesiras Nefesh another few minutes. To understand these two aspects, these two sides of Atzilus, why Atzilus is like an in-betweener. There's so many ways that Atzilus is like, you don't know, is it part of the Olamos Ein Sof, or is it part of Abiyah? It's like a bridge. It's like it has this and that. It always has two aspects to it. They oscillate between this and that in Atzilus. Two opposite inyanim. So to understand these two sides of Atzilus, that on one hand, Atzilus is Gilui ההעלם, and on the other hand, it's a Chidush Yesh Me'ayin. Now the Rebbe will explain that there are two kinds of Chayus that are coming from Or Ein Sof, which you are familiar with, Or Pnimi and Or Makif. The Or Makif comes, which means the encompassing light, the light that is beyond the ability of the worlds to perceive, is coming from Malchus of Ein Sof before the Tzimtzum. I'm repeating, the Or Makif, the light of godliness that is beyond effects and is present in the worlds beyond their ability to perceive it, comes from Malchus of Ein Sof before the Tzimtzum and remains Ein Sof, remains infinite, even after the Tzimtzum, remains uncompromised, even after the Tzimtzum, relatively, and that is Or HaSoivev Kol Almin, the light that surrounds all worlds. Why surround? Because the circle represents relation to something in an equal manner. This is a light that transcends all worlds equally. All worlds are equal in comparison to this light. Mm-hmm. And beyachas to this Hamshacha, Atzilus is not considered Gilui ההעלם, rather it's considered Yesh Me'ayin. That is Or HaSoivev. This is Hamshacha of Makif. This manner of Amshacha from Or Ein Sof, from Malchus of Ein Sof before Atzilus, that doesn't change, doesn't get compromised, and remains beyond the ability of the world to perceive, but affects the world. This is the light that it, comparing to it, Atzilus is called Yesh Me'ayin, something new. Then there is Amshacha Pnimis, not Makif, but Amshacha Pnimis, which means the Or HaKav. Or HaKav comes b'midah u'gvul, according to this Shita we said. And therefore, this is Or HaMemale Kol Almin. This is a light that is adjusted to all worlds and fills all worlds and can be revealed in all worlds and perceived and contained and integrated and internalized. So this is Or HaKav, HaMemale Kol Almin. In comparison to B'yachas le, in comparison, relation to Or HaKav, HaMemale Kol Almin, Atzilus is called Gilui ההעלם. Because Or HaKav already has shaychus to limitation, and therefore Atzilus is the Gilui of that. Now the Rebbe is going to bring a mashal to understand the nature and the relationship between the Or Makif and the Or Pnimi, two types of light through which Hashem creates and emanates, creates and conducts the world. The Rebbe is going to bring a mashal, a detailed metaphor of the process of teaching, which is often used in Chassidus, between the master and the student, to understand the nature and the operation of Or Makif and Or Pnimi beyachas to Atzilus. And that, Be'ezrat Hashem, we will do next week, God willing, in Yerushalayim Abnuya.